Porsche engineering is the industry benchmark, but the online configurator is a psychological minefield designed to test your financial discipline. Every checkmark you click represents a high-stakes choice between a functional upgrade and a vanity expense that evaporates the second you leave the lot. We are looking at these cars as capital assets. The goal is simple: experience the drive without the six-figure financial sting. Winning at the dealership level means knowing exactly which boxes the second and third owners will actually fight to pay for. Click $3,000 for leather. Click $9,000 for brakes. Every click is a heartbeat of dopamine followed by a cold sweat of depreciation. Let's stop clicking and start calculating. Most buyers play it safe with GT Silver or Jet Black because they are terrified of a niche color. But the data shows that playing it safe is actually the most expensive mistake you can make at the configurator. I'm going to show you why the boring choice is actually a hidden tax that can cost you 27% on the back end. I am breaking this all down into 5 essentials that protect your floor and 5 traps that sink your ceiling. There is one interior option that costs $6,000 on the build sheet today, but is currently trading for $22,000 in the secondary market. It is effectively the only part of the car that pays you to sit in it, if you know which version to buy. I'll show you that specific ROI calculation in a moment. When you step into the world of Porsche, you aren't just buying transportation. You are buying a dream that was perfected on a racetrack. But here's the thing, not all dreams are priced equally on the secondary market. If you want to build a car that holds its value, you have to focus on the mechanical soul of the machine. The GTS interior package on the 718 Cayman is the perfect case study here. There is a specific reason the 718 GTS 4.0 is holding up to 86% of its value, while newer, more expensive models are sliding. It isn't just that glorious flat-six engine. It is actually a specific production decision Porsche made in 2025 that effectively locked the market for this car. We will break that math down in a moment. But for now, understand that this package doesn't just look cool, it bundles the specific equipment the market demands and signals to the next buyer that this car was built for driving, not just for posing at a valet stand. It bundles the specific equipment the market demands and signals to the next buyer that this car was built for driving, not just for posing at a valet stand. The absolute anchor for any modern Porsche is the Sport Chrono package. If you see that clock on the dash, you know you're looking at a car with the right DNA. Data shows that cars without Sport Chrono sit on the market 40% longer than those that have it. It's the non-negotiable feature. It changes the mapping, the mounts, and the entire attitude of the car. Without it, you've essentially bought a luxury cruiser instead of a sports car, and the market will punish you for it. The same goes for Porsche torque vectoring and the PASM Sport suspension. These aren't just random specs on a sheet. They are the identity of the driving experience. They make the car feel alive in your chest when you're clipping an apex. Collectors and enthusiasts will overlook a weird exterior color or a lack of fancy leather before they ever overlook a missing limited slip differential. You have to get the bones of the car right first. Now, let's talk about the big one, the manual transmission. I know what the track rats are saying. The PDK is faster. They're right. It's faster to 60, and it's faster to lose $20,000 in value. If you want a lap time, buy the PDK. If you want a bank statement, buy the manual. Right now, manual cars are commanding a 10 to 15% premium on the used market. As the PDK dual clutch becomes the standard for lap times, pure engagement has become the ultimate rarity. It's a supply and demand game. Porsche is moving toward an electric future, which makes these analog connections more valuable by the day. If you can handle 3 pedals, your bank account will thank you in 5 years. And then there are the carbon fiber bucket seats. This is the negative cost option. There is one interior option that costs $6,000 on the build sheet today, but is currently trading for $22,000 in the secondary market. It is effectively the only part of the car that pays you to sit in it, if you know which version to buy. Why? Because you cannot easily retrofit them later without spending a fortune and dealing with a mountain of sensor headaches. A recent auction saw a pair of these seats sell for $22,000. That is a massive return on investment. They completely transform the interior from a standard cabin into a cockpit. When a car has buckets, it tells the next owner that this was the collector's baseline specification. It protects your investment because it makes your car the one people bookmark while the standard specs get lost in a sea of lease returns. You are buying the engineering and the heritage, so make sure the build sheet reflects that passion. Focus on the gear that makes the car go faster, and the market will reward your precision. Now, moving on to the visual side of things, if you want to talk about the ultimate resale cheat code, we have to talk about paint to sample, or PTS. This is where a Porsche moves from being a high-performance machine to being a legitimate 1 of 11 collectible. Recent market analysis shows that PTS-equipped 911s are absolutely crushing standard colors when it comes to holding on to their value. On a 991.2 GT3, for example, a PTS car fetches a 23% premium over a standard shade like agate gray or jet black. That is a gross premium of over $47,000 just for the paint. If you're looking at a touring model, that jump goes up to 27.6%. We're talking about an average resale price of $276,000 for those PTS Tourings. It is just crazy to look at those numbers and realize how much the right color matters to a collector. Then you have the Visop package on the RS models. It is a massive upfront cost, but the used market doesn't even look at it as an option anymore. It treats it like a completely different trim level. If you have a GT3 RS without the Visop package, you are fighting with one hand tied behind your back when it is time to sell. It has become the baseline for top-tier builds. Buyers want the carbon fiber roof and the magnesium wheels. But now we have to talk about the dark side of the configurator. These are the money traps. This is where your hard-earned cash goes to die. I call these vanity options because they feel good when you buy them, but they vanish the second you try to trade the car in. The biggest offender is the Porsche Ceramic Composite Brake System, or PCCB. Don't get me wrong, these yellow calipers look incredible, and they offer stopping power that is just legendary. Plus, you get zero brake dust, which is a dream for keeping your wheels clean. But if you're putting these on a standard Carrera that is mostly going to see grocery runs and highway miles, you're making a massive financial mistake. To a second owner, those rotors aren't a performance feature, they are a $9,000 maintenance liability. People are terrified of chipping a ceramic motor during a tire change or having to replace them after a few track days. On a standard car, you will never see that money back. It is better to stick with the standard steel brakes and just buy a better wheel cleaner. And then there is the audio. We all love music, right? The Burmester high-end surround sound system sounds like a concert hall. It has 21 speakers and over 1,400 watts of power. It is a masterpiece of engineering. But here is the cold, hard reality from the dealership floor. That system adds almost nothing to your resale value. Data shows that a Burmester system usually only boosts your trade-in value by a measly 1 to 3%. Think about that. You're spending $6,000 for a $300 bump in value. Spending $6,000 on the Burmester for a 1% trade-in bump is like buying a gold-plated remote control for a TV you're about to sell. It feels premium in your hand, but the next guy is just going to use it to change the channel. It's a vanity tax, plain and simple. The Bose system is the Goldilocks choice here. It's plenty loud, sounds great, and it's the standard for what used buyers expect. Anything above that is just a vanity tax that won't show up on your trade-in appraisal. Next up, let's look at the seats. But before we get there, we have to address the luxury deal breaker. There is a common $2,000 luxury feature that 90% of Mercedes or BMW buyers demand. But in the Porsche world, it is a no-go flag for the most serious collectors. If you check the box for a sunroof on a 911, you aren't just adding weight. You are cutting your buyer pool in half. Collectors want that classic, clean silhouette and the structural rigidity of a solid roof. Moving back inside, skip the 18-way adaptive sport seats. They add weight and mechanical complexity that collectors hate. True enthusiasts prefer the simpler 2-way or 4-way sport seats because they keep the car feeling like a sports car instead of a luxury SUV. If you treat your 911 like a Mercedes S-Class, the market will treat it like one too. And that means heavy depreciation. And finally, skip the driver assistance tech. Adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist age like a dated flip phone. Buyers want to drive, not be driven. Anything that takes away from the purity of that experience is just fluff that the used market will ignore. Before you pull the trigger on a 992.1, you need to understand the 992.2 glitch. Porsche just changed a standard feature on the new model that is about to fundamentally shift the floor for every car currently on the market. We will look at that data right before the final tally. How do you win this game? Be honest about your usage. Daily drivers need comfort, but weekend toys need a focused investment strategy. The biggest mistake is trying to mix the two. You end up with a car that is too soft for the track and too stiff for the commute. For a 718 GTS 4.0 or a 992 Carrera, find the sweet spot. Focus on sport chrono and suspension, then add one standout visual cue like Shark Blue. This creates a liquid asset that a dealer can move in 3 days. Remember the Porsche Pulse golden rule. Invest in the parts that get hot, not the parts that look pretty. Engines and gears hold value. Leather-wrapped air vents do not. We've looked at the traps, but there is one specific combination of 3 options that creates what collectors call the Holy Grail build. If your car has these 3, it is effectively bulletproof against depreciation. I'll reveal that combination at the end of this next section. GT cars are the only place where the rules change. If you're lucky enough to get an allocation for a GT3 or an RS model, this is the one time where checking every box might actually work. The buyer pool for these cars is looking for the Holy Grail. They want that PTS paint, the Visop package, and the deviated stitching. They want the car that looks like it belongs in a museum. But even then, you have to be careful. If you overspec a car with weird personal touches, your days on market will skyrocket. I've seen overspec'd cars sit for months because the owner chose a lime green interior with a red exterior. Nobody wants to pay a premium for someone else's bad taste. The Holy Grail build that collectors fight over is simple. PTS paint, the Visop package, and a manual transmission. That is the trifecta that ignores the depreciation curve entirely. Think of your build sheet like a financial portfolio. You are investing in the engine and the chassis, not the leather-wrapped fuse box cover. The next owner is buying the way that flat 6 sounds at 9,000 RPM. When you stay focused on the mechanical pulse of the car, the resale value follows. A Porsche is something you feel in your chest. So build a car that screams toward red line, but keep your head in the numbers. That is how you experience the greatest sports car in the world without losing your shirt. It's about precision. When you get it right, the car becomes more than just an asset. It becomes a part of who you are. Smart money stays close to the mechanical soul of the machine and skips the fluff that loses its shine at the first service. Choose options that match the car's engineering pedigree, and resale will follow the demand. Find a car with documented service history and a focused build sheet to win the long-term game. Now, hit subscribe to keep your garage and your bank account in the green today.